You are not powerless to your addiction. You don't need to accept that alcohol is in charge. What you need to do is take radical responsibility, and I'm going to give you the habits, the tactics, the tools to give you the strength, resilience, and capabilities to get past this on your own. And now, if you want to use these lessons I'm going to share with you in combination with a group, with church, etc., then I believe they will only help your path to sobriety. But this is a very contrarian view. I do not accept that I'm powerless to alcohol. I'm less than 2 months away from 2 years without it. I did this completely on my own, without any sort of group, without any sort of religion. I did it just by developing habits and characteristics that have impacted so much more than just getting sober. They've impacted every element of my life. They've gotten me in good shape. They've gotten my self-belief. I've built a business. I have a good, income producing marketing company I started while living out of the back of an SUV 1,300 miles from home. I got myself away from everything comfortable or easy to help me escape the environment and situations that kept leading me on that path that I just couldn't get past it. And if I had the information that I'm going to give you today, it would have helped me get past my addiction to alcohol much quicker. So it took me almost 2 years from the day that I stepped into the gym until the day I had my last drink. But like I said, if I knew then what I know now, I would have had a path to get myself there much quicker. And the key to everything here is there's all this stuff out there, all this motivation, all this stuff to get you hyped up, short form videos, these different crazy things. And the thing is, motivation is fleeting. You might get excited, you might follow something based on motivation for a few hours, a few days, a few weeks, but that motivation is going to wear off. The important things are habits and discipline. And there are very strategic ways to develop these. This is the key to everything. This will impact so much more than just getting past that harmful addiction. The key to all this is keeping promises to ourselves. Builds strength. It builds confidence. It gives us what we need to be able to do anything we want to do. And what does that mean, keeping promises to ourselves? How does it build confidence? Well, if I say I'm going to get up early every day, and I get up early every day, I kept a promise to myself, I've developed confidence. I know I am going to do what I said I'm going to do. If I say I'm going to the gym X amount of days a week, I hit all those days, I don't deviate, I showed myself I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do. Over time, you get to a point where you just know whatever you want to do, whatever you're going to do, you say you're going to do it, it's going to happen, you're going to do it. That gives you confidence, that gives you self-belief. And this can start with something really simple. I'll put a card in this video for one recently. 30 days, fix your posture, commit to 10 minutes a day. Just by developing that habit, you're going to get that foundational element that you didn't necessarily have just by developing a habit that does that one thing. It takes 21 days to develop a habit, 90 days to turn it into a lifestyle. I would start stacking new habits, one a month. So for the first month, I'm going to set my time. I get up at 5 a.m. I used to do it 4, but my body was getting like 4 to 5 hours of sleep or less per night. I still rarely get 6. But anyway, so I get up at 5. Okay, so you set your alarm for 5 a.m. Don't hit snooze. Get up every single day. And at 21 days, it's now become a habit. In 90 days, it'll be a lifestyle. So at 30 days, we're going to stack a new habit on top of that. Okay, so now we're going to remove cereal. We're going to trade cereal for eggs and egg whites in the morning. And so by the time you hit 90 days and those early get-ups have become a lifestyle, you've got 2 more habits that are on their way to becoming a lifestyle. And in 6 months or in a year, you've changed so much about yourself. And, you know, for me, I would say once I had turned a few of these less challenging but uncomfortable habits into lifestyles, that's when I would set myself onto removing my addiction, getting out of the habit of going to the bar, getting out of the habit of drinking at night. But here's the thing, when you're getting over an addiction, you can't half-ass it. You can't stop drinking during the weekdays and only drink on the weekends. Once your body has created those chemical paths and understands that alcohol, you can never undo those neural pathways. Never, ever, ever. So, it's a scary thing saying you're going to quit drinking forever. For me, I set a 6-month goal initially, not having any idea how amazing of a snowball effect I was beginning to build for my life. At 90 days, I upped my commitment to a year. At a year, I said I'm done forever. So I can't tell you exactly the path for you to get there, but at least set a really uncomfortable length of time that you're not going to drink. And then understand that you can tell yourself if you want that, oh yeah, I fixed myself now. I did 90 days, I did 6 months, I did a year. Man, by the time you drink 2 or 3 times, your body's going to, those neural pathways, they'll light right back up. You'll be right back to where you're at. So along that path, you have to start understanding that addiction is now a part of your neurochemistry. It is a part of your brain. It will never go away. And, something interesting that I've learned about this, for me, when you're young, you're 19, 20 in college, back when all the movies like American Pie and Van Wilder were out, and we were told during my time that social life revolves around drinking. What a huge joke. Over time, that same excitement, that same fun that you think you're having, it affects you differently. It's where, your body, it has a dopamine spike. You go to the bar after you're addicted, after your body really knows the chemistry of alcohol well. You take that first drink, you get a little dopamine spike, and it almost instantly goes below baseline. You take the next drink, and maybe you'll get dopamine back above baseline again for a little while, but by the time you hit that 3rd or 4th drink, now every dopamine spike, you're so far below baseline, every dopamine spike that you get comes up trying to find baseline, and it goes lower. And the more drinks you have, the lower it goes, the worse you feel. Then you end up just being stupid, spending a bunch of money, and you can't get that good feeling. So it's crazy. That is the nature of addiction. The more you've drank throughout your life, the more heavily we've built those neural pathways in. The key for me, and I believe the key for everybody, is fitness. Now for me, it was strength training. My focus has been on bodybuilding and aesthetics, on getting my posture right, getting the right muscle tone in the right places, getting lean. I'm excited. I will soon be to the point where I get to focus more on bulking, but I want every single last little pinch of fat off this body. This is a long, challenging goal, even more challenging and uncomfortable than getting sober, which was a really hard challenge for me. I was drinking over a liter of vodka a day. It was no joke. I took on a 97-day intense diet with heavy fasting, heavy caloric restriction, living off of boiled chicken, yogurt, and salad. And it tanked my white blood cell count. It screwed up my gut bacteria. But on the other side of it, I had done something extremely, extremely uncomfortable. I saw it through. I didn't deviate. And it's amazing what it did for me mentally and spiritually, where it was just the next step of progression, the next set of habits. And then I learned a lot more about nutrition after that. And now I have a much more regimented, balanced, healthy, and effective meal plan. And I'm still leaning out. I'm still getting off the last little bitty smallest pinches of fat. But every single meal I have now, I'm so grateful for, because it is something more than boiled chicken and Greek yogurt. And let me tell you, that made me a lot tougher and stronger. So, I think my most recent video was about the value of suffering. There's a lot there. But the habits that I had developed over the years gave me the strength and capability to do that. I couldn't have done that on day one. And that's why I'm suggesting that you just focus on the idea of discipline and habits and consistency. and start stacking good habits. They can be easy. Like I said, 10 minutes a day working on that posture program. I'll put my link to that video here. Set your alarm for 5 a.m. Refuse to hit snooze. Get up every single day. Maybe on day one, my very first step, my very first habit I was building before I even understood this was I went to the gym. I didn't know what I was doing, but it's what I did. And I did it way too much. I didn't take days off. And I spent way too much time in there. I didn't know what I was doing. And that, again, kind of like the diet, I overdid it. It was harmful. I've been fighting tendonitis in my elbows here and there over the years. I've gotten better about it. But, I beat myself up in there. It's what I had to do. And then it made it so terribly easy now. My strength training now, I love it. It's easy. It's a habit. It's a lifestyle. I mean, it's just like brushing my teeth. I can't not do it. No matter what. I've been in the gym at 2 a.m. before. I've been at the gym early in the morning before 5 a.m. It's these things, they just compound. And now something that seemed so challenging on day one is just who I am. Sobriety, that was so hard at first. Now it's just who I am. Starting my own business, working for myself. I've been developing so many parts of that for decades. But this is the first time it's all really fallen into place because I had so much self-belief and so much conviction because of the habits that I had developed, because of the discipline I had developed, because of the things I had put myself through and gotten to the other side of. And now, I've been doing a lot of investing. I've made some uncomfortable decisions to live far beneath my means because I understand we're at a very important point in history. And when it comes to global finance, right now, this is the summer of 2025. And when we're looking back on this in, 5-10 years, this is a moment that will be in history as a very huge turning point for the world. So right now, I've chosen to live far beneath my means in a somewhat uncomfortable manner so that I have more money to invest. And I started getting excited. It looks like there's a potential, the land that I want's 40 acres. But there's a lot that I walked last year that went off the market that already has water and everything. It's right in the same location where I want it, up in the mountains. And it's only $10,000 for an acre, next to a national park, next to my favorite hot spring, within an hour of a couple ski slopes, almost no building restrictions. More freedom, so I can then focus my time, my energy, my effort, my skills into creating, into communicating with you, into having an impact on the world, into doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and not just selling my time to somebody else, selling my life to somebody else, one paycheck at a time. But even better, if I get that big plot of land, which I could probably do cash for the small land. If I do the 40 acres, there's going to be some financing involved, which somewhat limits freedom. At the same time, it's really important at this moment in history to have assets and not cash. And if you don't have either, you're really coming in for some ugly, challenging times coming up. So spend some time at the drawing boards. Figure out whatever uncomfortable thing you have to do. Get some assets in your pocket. I don't care what it is. Land, gold, silver, crypto, stocks. Just get some assets, because the people who own assets are going to be pushed into the upper class, and the people who don't, even if they've got, let's say you've got a bunch of cash flowing, but you got no assets, you're going to be part of the lower class within the next few years, within under a decade. So it's really important to be strategic about how we spend our time. And if you got a comfortable job you're coasting with, we'll start living uncomfortable outside that job. Allocate into assets, or recognize that, hey, this thing is probably coming to an end in the next few years. Maybe it's time to get uncomfortable, start learning things, start failing, start figuring things out, and get your next steps figured out. Because if you wait until the moment that you have to react to things changing that are out of your control versus front running what you see coming, you're going to end up in a worse place if you're not ahead of the curve through all this change that's happening in the world. So we've really kind of gone off on a tangent today. the key to everything is habits. For me, the most important habits that have built me up, that gave me the strength, capabilities, resilience, self-belief, confidence to get past harmful vices and addiction, to have belief in myself, to build something, to have belief, to be able to focus what I care about the most for my life and my impact on the world is creating content. I just threw out a channel with 8,000 followers. I just quit creating content for it because there wasn't enough clarity and conviction, and it was going to take more time and effort to turn that channel into what I'm building here with you than it was just to start over. And I don't know if you understand this. This is a long, steady, grueling path to build content like this. This is not something that's supposed to happen overnight, even though we live in a world that tells us, hey, we're supposed to get rich with one proper low market cap crypto coin. We're supposed to go viral overnight with one TikTok and just become amazing. We're supposed to get a 10-year physique in 1 year, taking shortcuts, taking Ozempic, taking testosterone replacement. Man, everything we're told, everything we're led to believe, it's all a big joke. So the only thing that's important, habits, clarity, and conviction. What habits do you want to develop? Pursue those with clarity. Don't chase different directions. Say, I'm going to do this. Stick to it. Stack another one in 30 days. Stick to it. Stack another one in 30 days. Stick to it. And after you develop a few habits and turn those into lifestyle, commit yourself to removing whatever vice or addiction that's holding you back from the life that you know you can create for yourself, the impact that you can have in whatever way you're going to serve humanity. Take care. Be safe. Thanks for following on my journey.